It is. It's colder than cold. It's chillier than chilly. My teeth are literally chattering. But is that going to stop the pump? Let's get real. Come on. Even if it's a blizzard and we have a whole city shut down, and it's like, stay off the roads. Guess what? Anytime Fitness has a door that's wide open and ready for me. So no matter what, I'm gonna make it. But there's not that there's no snow on the roads now, so don't even have to think about it. Plan for arms. Ugh, I'm still fucking freezing. I might change it up a little bit. I've been doing a lot of. Oh my god. So I've been doing one muscle group at a time. Triceps, every set of tries until they're fully pumped, and then moving on to buys, right? Finishing buys, going to check the pump, then rolling. But for a long time, I was actually doing a superset for every set. So I would do one set of pushdowns and immediately run over, do a set of curls, and then rest in between. Which I don't think that's the worst method, but I feel like maybe no break is potentially limiting the intensity of that second set. Because you got to think, after a set of pushdowns, like, sure, I'm not going to be insanely winded, but even though the let's just say the damage and the fatigue is localized to my triceps, I'm still going to be a little bit, let's just say, hindered for that set of curls. So I think instead of no rest period, I might try to do some back and forths for today. So maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say, because either I do like maybe 3 sets of tries, then 3 sets of buys, or 2 and 2, or 1 and 1. I'll think about it as I get warm. But oh, my apologies for interrupting with a big ass yawn. Waiting for the caffeine and the beta alanine to wake my ass up from the hostility bloodshot combination. So usually I think this probably isn't the best way to go about your training. Like, I think given your 100% focus and effort to one muscle group at a time is probably going to yield you better results. And I say probably because obviously that's not like scientifically backed. I'm just, saying what I think. And that's why, for the most part, I do one muscle group at a time. But you got to remember, you can't let your training get too stale and too repetitive, doing the same workout week after week after week. For the most part, unless you're still seeing the scale go up on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month basis, I guess, if you're trying to gain weight, then maybe look at your training. Maybe the stimulus is just getting old. So every so often, I do like flipping my training over in a way and just hitting it, in a different way than normal. So yeah, I think definitely gonna incorporate some supersets, but to what degree, to be determined. To be determined. Though, no matter what order and what exercises I pick, or what kind of curls, or what sort of weights, be the sets really heavy for like 8 reps, or a bit lighter for like 20 with some grinded partials at the end, as long as all the sets are hard, and I don't mean like, oh, they look kind of hard, I mean, if you're doing a good set. If you are pushing yourself. So that internal, let's just call it grading scale, should be ticking, and you should know, like, okay, come on, 4 more. Yeah. Or maybe don't even say a number, just say, keep going, right? But as long as you go into the gym and you do, like, for a single muscle group, 7, 8-ish really hard sets, I think that's all you need. Now, of course, throw some supersets in there sometimes, throw some drop sets in, copy some other guys' training, maybe one day do a little bit extra volume, more like 12. Maybe you're in a rush, you got to cut it down to 4. right? It gets a little bit, I don't want to say annoying, but the topic of the training style, in a way, like the discussion about it, it's almost a little bit trivial to me, because there's dudes who are getting jacked and getting legit results doing very different training styles, right? There's dudes who are out here 2 or 3 rest days a week, only hitting every body part once a week, maybe doing high volume, 20 sets per workout. And then there's dudes who are doing like full body every day. And then there's dudes maybe more along my style of training, hitting everything about twice a week, once every 4 days, no rest days. And guess what? All these dudes, they got some muscle on their frame. I'm not saying they're all, supplemented up to 250 pounds, but when somebody's a freak, right? You can just tell that they're actually putting in effort. And that's a factor that I think really needs to be emphasized across all styles of training. Is the guys who work the hardest, right, apart from just making progress, they are going to be the guys who you can actually tell they're putting in effort, So whether you want to do I kind of feel like you need a little bit of, I don't want to say pride, but people look to YouTubers, or not YouTubers, but to fitness influencers with so much trust and so much, I kind of even want to say naivete. Just like, what's the best workout to do? And I like this guy, so I'm going to listen to him. This is the best way to go about it. You are an idiot for doing it any other way. Come on, man. Best case scenario. This is what I describe as the best case scenario for a lifter. Do a little bit of intel. Find a buddy who lifts. Actually, that's probably a pretty good case, because then he can pretty much sort of coach you in the early steps, right? Have him teach you the basics. Let him show you how to do a good bench press. Not drop the bar on your neck in the process. Get accustomed to the weights. Get comfortable in the gym. Start push-pull legs. Any kind of split you fucking want. And then, after 6 months, X number of months of training hard like that, maybe make a change with the training style, right? Maybe reduce your volume, try to go a little bit harder. Maybe, if one muscle group is a little bit ahead of the game, maybe hit it a little bit less frequently. Maybe one is a little bit behind, maybe try to prioritize that, right? Get your frame going. But make changes and then assess whether or not those changes resulted in any actual results on your fucking frame. So if you try doing X number of workouts per week and you really don't look any different than you did 3 months ago, all the training you've been doing is just maintaining where you are right now. So if you take a picture of yourself 6 months ago, 8 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and in terms of size and body fat percentage, you're the same dude, maybe you look a little bit older, but otherwise same build, then all that means is what you've been doing is just enough to, scrape by, right? The passage of time is constantly eating away at you. So if you kind of want to get ahead in terms of progress, it's almost like you can't just go to the gym on a daily basis, eat your protein, right? If you actually want to progress, you've got to be doing it actively and keep your eyes open for if you ever start to, plateau, and then say, okay, I'm not gaining weight as much as I should be. My strength has been pretty much the same for the last 8 months. Maybe I should change something up. And then I can't tell you exactly what you need to change. You know your body the most, more than anybody else. You've been with it more than anybody else. So if you can get a little bit more skillful at sort of, I don't want to say body language, but kind of understanding your, let's just say your biomechanics, and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and being able to lean towards the what works side, then fast forward a couple of years and you should be relatively freakish. And I can say that with certainty. So I think that's enough of my little starter lift rant. Sort of went off on a total different topic than just arms. But either way, No matter what my arm training is going to look like, I'm going to make sure the sets are hard. I'm going to finish with a freaky ass pump because I'm very well fed and hydrated. And we can go home, eat, and get ready to repeat the process tomorrow. So let's just hope that there's a couple of cables open for me. All right, I was kind of bouncing around a couple different sort of handles, and regular pushdowns just were not doing it for me. So instead, long D handle kind of underhand extensions, which usually I don't like, just because I'd want to, because you got to remember, you're super strong like this. I could push down, I mean, a fucking 100 pounds or a bazillion pounds with my hands over top of a bar. But when you go underhand, I mean, it's just a weaker, you're just weaker. You're in a more compromised state. But for whatever reason, with the 2D handles, I don't know, it just kind of like, it feels like I'm combining a rope with a straight bar. You kind of just have to try it. But I think a couple here and then move on to curls. Okay. Yeah, that's enough for the first one. Okay. Okay. Let's do it 2 and 2. 2 pushdowns, 2 curls. Repeat until pumped. So, it took a couple sets to warm up. Feel nice and strong. With heavy curls, dumbbell curls at least, I am going to use straps. The action of kind of twisting the dumbbell, going through the motion of the curl. Without straps, like obviously with like the 30s or the 40s, it's whatever. But getting into 70 plus, it's really going to fatigue my forearms. And to the point where I almost feel like my forearms may give out before my actual biceps. And I'm aiming for biceps. So I'm going to take that potential fatigue out of the equation, throw some straps on. And honestly, I feel like I can just squeeze harder with the straps. So either way, 75s for 1 or 2 million reps. Oh my fucking God. One more. Come on. Oh my fucking God. A little bit of swinging and breakdown in form, but at the benefit of that much fucking tension on my biceps, well worth it. Next movement might be a bit more controlled, but let's get some tries going again. Let's just get some straight bar push downs going. I don't have any additional weight apart from the stack, so I'm gonna squeeze real fucking hard. Actually, I'll go a little narrower. Oh my God. One more. Oh my God. I'm gonna come back to this, but let's go do some kind of curl. It has been a little while since I've done these preachers. Little trick I always add is the handle itself doesn't really agree with me. It always kind of fucks on my wrists. So instead, I wrap a D handle around one side. It just gives me a little bit of extra freedom of motion. And for whatever reason, that's just enough to let it jive with my elbow mechanics. But moderate weight. I'm gonna start with the right arm first since my right bicep is a little bit weaker / smaller. And 2 sets here. Do some more push downs. Oh my God. Okay. One more. Oh my goodness. Oh fuck. Oh. Okay. Oh my goodness. Fuck. Okay. Let's go back to that cambered bar push down. I really like the way that felt. You know, it's getting to the point right now where even straightening my arms out all the way is a fucking challenge with no weight, just because my buys are so pumped they don't want to be stretched that much. But either way, 2 more sets here. One more, 5. Oh my god, fuck. Drops out this bitch. Oh my god. Let's get some curls going. This shit is fucking stinging. Easy bar curls should feel pretty good. 110 at the bottom. Might do a drop to 60 or the 80. I'll see how the first set feels, or the first portion of the first set. Oh my fucking god. No drop set necessary. That actually is probably a little too heavy. Let's do the 80s for the second one. 80-pound easy bar got nabbed. So that's just the gym telling me grab the 90s. Oop. So actually this is flipping over to this side makes this a sick drop set. I'm thinking 90s, free motion, standing out in the air so I can get a little swing, but then drop it to 40, sit here up against the wall. That might actually be pretty cool. I didn't even think about that until just now. Oh my fucking god. Fuck. Holy fuck. 40-pound easy bar has never felt so fucking heavy. Jesus. I think one more push down and one more curl, and then we're fucking done. This is an outlandish pump beyond reality. For whatever reason, I love this movement right now. And I have no problem repeating the same movement for tries for the whole lift. If it feels sick, I'm getting a crazy burn, feel like I'm hitting my whole tricep, and I'm getting crazy pumped. Why would I benefit from adding a rope in? you know. On lifts where maybe this doesn't feel that good, maybe I'll grab a rope. But, you know, if something works, don't fix it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's do one more easy bar curl set. Then check this shit out. 110s to 60. This should be a solid drop set. Oh my fucking God. Working out. Okay. I feel fucking pumped. And I say that with a fucking pretty gnarly amount of emphasis, even compared to normal. Let's go check this shit out. I'm excited. Fucking God, dude. That fucking superset style arm day has given me what feels like the nuttiest fucking arm pump I've had in many moons. Many freaking moons. So let's see how we're looking without this hoodie on. Oh, barely reach over my fucking chest to get it off. Yeah, I can barely grab the fucking collar. I can't even like reach my own neck. Okay, I can, but it's a stretch. Oh, okay. Dude, I'm not sure if it really comes off on camera. Of course, I'm the one who's hypersensitive to my own build. Like if my arm is like very slightly bigger one day, of course I'm gonna notice it, body dysmorphia style. But in that same spirit, I notice when I look fucking bulbous as hell. Dude, my arms look fucking huge. I mean, look, it's a minuscule difference. If I were to measure my arm around right now, pumped compared to unpumped, I mean, it's less than an inch. It's not even an inch bigger around. But even half an inch on the arms looks fucking huge. So with a couple poses, most of them, usually I take a big breath and squeeze to kind of pop some extra veins out. But after kind of a hard lift, sometimes doing that, I will get a bit lightheaded, almost like I'm gonna fucking pass out. So that is something to watch out for. If you're really gassed and then you hold your breath to fucking, try to get one extra arm vein out, I wouldn't be surprised if someone just fell backwards and lost their shit. I mean, that's why people pass out on deadlifts. But enough chat. Let's fucking hit a double by. Now that's what I'm fucking talking about. Best arm pump of the fucking bulk, without even a hint of doubt. Fucking baller. I mean, that's the goal. As the bulk progresses, My pumps should get crazier and crazier and crazier as I should get bigger and bigger and bigger. So kind of a slow start. I don't know if I talked about this or if you heard me talk about it, but I've been easing into the food a bit more slowly. Like I didn't jump straight to my 5,000 calorie, 800 carb days. I kind of ramped up to it. And honestly, I can fucking see that we're starting to get somewhere. Oh my God, dude. I mean, it doesn't seem special to you maybe, but even when I was a fucking $160, when I'd go into the high school gym and get a chest pump, I've still got pictures of it. Of course, I look kind of dorky. I'm a fucking sophomore in high school or a junior in high school, but I'm sitting there doing a side chest and I had just as big of a fucking smile on my face getting pumps back then as I do now. Because you gotta remember, the pump isn't like, it's not like your happiness grows as you grow. The whole premise of the pump is you're just slightly bigger, veinier, fuller than normal. So it's just that differential, right? So dude, an extra 100 pounds heavier than me or 50 pounds lighter, when he gets a pump and gets to see himself bigger than normal, he gets a glimpse into his fucking future. Dude, that is so fucking, I mean, it's just fucking sick. So, dude, what other poses are there? How do they kind of do it like here? My mantis gets a lot cooler when I'm cut down. Because if I'm shirtless and my waist just disappears to nothing, and then I hit one of these, oh, it's fucking killer. Dude, I do not want to fucking stop posing. I fucking love it. And honestly, I'm probably a little bit extra excited and giddy because triceps are pumped at the same time as bis. You know, usually I do all of triceps first and then I do bis. So by the time I actually check the pump, you know, the tricep pump is not totally gone, but much more subdued because I did a whole bicep workout afterwards. So seeing my whole arm, tris and bis pumped at once. Oh my God. I just feel like a fucking freak. Let's get out of here. Let's get in the car and fucking fuel up. This was a fucking killer lift. Guess what I get to drive home as? A happy freaking camper. Because that was a fucking badass lift. So obviously, hard sets, squeezing nice and good, you know, a couple drop sets for bis. Those drop sets were fucking killer. But apart from that, the preparation was on point. I got a lot of sleep, had a lot of fluids, and a ton of fucking sweets today. Fucking like 12 Reese's cups, a pack of Lifesavers. I actually have a, oh, well, I guess this was the pack of Lifesavers. I did 30 minutes of cardio, like normal, and then afterwards, when I went to the sauna, I like the sauna, but I don't want to go in there without a drink. You just get a real dry throat. It's like, it's hard to breathe. And not in like a, but it's just kind of annoying, if you know what I'm saying. So I always try to drink something, but I didn't bring a drink. So I just got two little apple juices from the vending machine. So that was another 60 grams of carbs. So far today, I've had like 400. And I'm gonna have probably another 400 before I go to bed. So in terms of bulking, I mean, people throw the word keto around, but when it comes to gaining mass, look, you're not gonna get any bigger by eating extra protein. Where I really think the ticket lies is in carbs. When you're full of fucking carbs, when you got a ton of, and it doesn't have to come from sweets, of course. If I was putting on a lot of body fat, I would stay away from, you know, fast digesting, high glycemic index carb sources, aka all the fucking sweets and trash that I eat. Like if I really started putting on too much body fat, I'd be chowing down on sweet potatoes and fucking oatmeal, just because that's going to be a lower hit and it won't deposit to fat so easily. Obviously, you can still get fat off of oatmeal, but you're not going to rampant blood sugar into the fucking sky and then crash and whatever else. But full of carbs, that is going to add significant fucking strength to your lifts. If the night before, let's say you have two identical characters, fucking, you threw somebody into a Star Trek cloning machine, duplicated them. One guy, you let him go to bed, eat no dinner, right? You give him no dinner, and you make him do a 1 rep max the next day on bench. Or maybe you have him do a 10 rep max, whatever. Have him do that. And then have another character, same dude, have 500 grams of carbs the night before from whatever source, fucking rice, sherbet, Gatorade, it doesn't matter. 500 carbs into his system. That next day, he's going to have more fucking strength. He's going to have more energy at his disposal. Because you got to remember, of course, you got your stomach. I think people sort of think when you eat a lot of food, oh, my stomach's full. But secondarily to that, right, where does that food fucking go? And I'm being serious. Where does it go? If you ate, let's just say you have a bag of Skittles, and you eat 50 grams of carbs, sugars, worth of Skittles, and it gets digested, it gets absorbed by your stomach acid, whatever, where the fuck does it go? Right? First and foremost, that shit is going to get launched into your goddamn, I don't know what to call it actually, but let's just call it your storage cells, or your storage spaces in your muscle. Intramuscular glycogen is a fancy pants term, right? But that carbs, those sugars, it's going to get broken down into the most basic component, glucose, right? That one little hexagonal sugar molecule. Not that it really matters what kind it is. And then when you get a bunch of that floating around in your fucking blood, your pancreas is like, dude, you need some insulin right now. And what that's going to do is send all that sugar water from your blood into your fucking muscles, man. Your muscles are using that as energy. That's why endurance runners talk about carbing up before a marathon or a meet, right? Because they want to fill their intramuscular storage centers, right, full of glycogen, so that they have energy to run off of. Because your body very easily burns carbs, right? It very easily runs on sugar. Now, fats are a little bit harder, so if I've got 100 fucking bazillion grams of carbs in my system, and I eat 50 grams of fat, those carbs are going to be what my body's running off of for, that drop set, or those push downs. So the more you got in your system, the better. So that's kind of my end little speech there. So if you want to eat one thing to maybe start gaining a little bit more weight, and I'm not talking about a specific food, I'm just talking about a specific food group, get some more carbs in your system, man. Maybe fucking have 2 bowls of cereal instead of 1. Get 2 servings of rice at dinner instead of 1. Get a Gatorade instead of a Gatorade Zero. Or drink a fucking Sprite instead of a Sprite Zero. If you're not dieting down, then as far as I'm concerned, calories are calories. Now, like I was saying earlier, there is a caveat. If you're putting on way too much body fat, when I start my bulking diet and I just turn into a fat slob in like 2 months, then I'm eating too much food. I know that's a crazy statement to say, too much food, but there is a realm. If I were to be eating fucking 15,000 calories, if somehow I could get 15,000 calories into my fucking body every day, after 2 months of that, I can guarantee that I'm going to be fucking fat as shit. That's just too many calories to handle. So you've got to kind of adjust that for your own energy level and whatever else. But do not forget, and I'm saying this with 100% certainty, I stand behind this 100%. If you cannot gain weight, if you try to eat as much food as you can fucking eat, and every day you step on the scale and you weigh the same, then you need to eat more. You need to eat more fucking food. And that is the only thing stopping you from putting weight onto your frame. Now, of course, there's going to be some body fat involved. That's just the name of the game with bulking. You got to be able to accept that. Don't be a baby, right? If you lose your abs, whatever, you're building them up even stronger to be revealed later on the cut. But in all seriousness, and the same goes and vice versa, I'll say that part next. But if you can't gain weight, you need to get more calories into your fucking body. And if you can't lose body fat, if you've tried every keto, Atkins, intermittent fasting, everything, that the type of diet is not the problem. The problem is you're getting too many calories into your system every day. So with that, you can do two things. You can either increase your energy expenditure, aka add cardio, which apparently is a very difficult thing to do, or eat less calories. And how you go about that, I think the guys who are most, I don't want to say productive, but let's just say successful in being able to change the way that their body looks, aka getting bigger, getting leaner. They're the guys who are able to kind of learn enough about macros, track their shit, try different kinds of meals. They're the dudes who have tried stuff out, seen what works for them, and then stuck with it for a long period of time. Of course, there's discipline involved and mental toughness. It's hard going to bed hungry on a cut, and it's not the most fun in the world force feeding at like 11 p.m. on a bulk. But you cannot fight those two irrefutable facts. Not only are they the laws of thermodynamics, but they're like the two first laws of lifter dynamics. No lifter may gain weight without excess calories, and no lifter may lose body fat without a calorie deficit. You can put that on my gravestone, and I'll rest happily beneath it, knowing there's some fucking facts above me. But that's all I got. Arms was fucking killer. I'm already giddy, or I'm still giddy about it. So hopefully my legs feel nice and good tomorrow, because I'm still feeling them from that fucking lift with Fuad and Ben up at the hostile headquarters. That machine squat was fucking killer. That was a badass lift. So full day of eating tomorrow. I'm not kidding. I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to make sure every meal is documented with the macros and give you a little bit of insight on what I have found has been working for me. In no way is it a recommendation on what you should do. Right? Just take it as fucking information, good or bad. So that's my disclaimer there, but I'm out. I will see you next time.